Welcome to the Metallic Silhouette Society podcast for October 25th, 2023. If you're watching on YouTube, there is a video component to this. It's not that interesting, it's just me talking. There are some horses in the background. And you may have to deal with some wind noise because I don't have any intention of ever doing anything I do in a studio. I'd rather be outside. I'd rather be in my pasture. It's just the way it is. I welcome you to the podcast, and what we're doing and why we're here is to cover everything, to cover a lot of things that have happened in Metallic Silhouette Society, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, what my intentions are, where we've been, where we are, and where we're going as far as Metallic Silhouette Society. So we can start with this, basically. And I'm going to look down into my notes and be unprofessional because it's us talking here. This is sort of the deep dive on how it's made, what we do. It may take a few minutes. You may have to grab a cup of coffee. I know I have a cup of coffee here with me, which I will unprofessionally be sipping from in time to time. And you may have to watch this or listen to this in chunks. What we are, Metallic Silhouette Society. It's, of course, the members-only Facebook group. If you found us through YouTube or the podcast and you're not a member of the Facebook group, go to Facebook, look for Metallic Silhouette Society. You'll find it. It's a private group. You're going to have to sign up. You're going to have to answer a couple of very simple questions that prove you're not an anti-gun weirdo, and then you're in. And it really is that Facebook group. Now, today I think we have 3,046 members. It's a very interactive group. Everybody's posting match announcements, match scores, things they're doing in Silhouette, questions and answers, tips and tricks. It really is the best way to transmit metallic silhouette shooting information right now. That's what happens. You work on something for 8-9 years. You build it up to a point where it really works. That section is going very well. We want to get these other sections going up try to get them going about the same speed at some point. So, Silhouette Society, Metallic Silhouette Society Facebook group, private group. Part 1. Part 2, the YouTube channel, same name. A YouTube channel, there's a lot of videos about Silhouette. Basically, that started a while ago. I want to say that's another 8-9 year project right there. It's 8 years anyway. Started with me just trying to give basic information about Silhouette, mainly originally geared towards non-Silhouette shooters, still kind of in that realm. I want to, because YouTube is a place where almost everybody can go on, sign on, and look. All you got to do is type in Metallic Silhouette. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. That would be the place where you want to contact potential shooters, new potential people who want to participate in our small sport hobby. I want to build on that YouTube channel a little. Haven't done a whole lot of it in the last 2 years, and we'll get into that in a minute, why that is, how that is. I personally have been trying to move myself off of it and have other people, whether I film them or they send in information, have it run that way a little bit, which actually works. It helps. I really like it that way. I'd rather not be you don't ever need to see my face. You may need to hear my voice once in a while, but that's it. Hopefully we'll get towards that point at some time. The third leg of Metallic Silhouette Society is new. It's the podcasts. The podcasts are available on Spotify. Just look up Metallic Silhouette Society. Simple. Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, which actually is a thing, and our iHeart radio station channel on Metallic Silhouette Society. Every platform is the same name. It's always easy to find, and that's what we do right now. What the channel is: video, audio content. On Facebook, it's content put in by me and by everyone else. The more participation, the better. And it's about Metallic Silhouette, which is a sport. If you don't know what it is, look it up real quick. Come back to the podcast. Come back to the channel after that. You'll see. Addictive sport. Great people, great sport, great fun. And it builds up your much-needed skills. What we don't cover a lot of pistol silhouette. People will add pistol silhouette stuff to the Facebook group page. I have no problem with that. Go right ahead. Same thing with black powder and some of the other black powder cartridge rifle. You can add the stuff on the Facebook group. It's not something I cover because they have their own groups. And that's my basic thing, is they have their own sections, their own spiels, their own things on Facebook. They get to do their own stuff. We do rifle Metallic Silhouette in my realm, and that's what we do. Any other content, because people have asked me, emailed me, and that's why I'm doing a podcast. It's easier for me to do a podcast, to do a video, if I need to, rather than, to get the information out, see how behind the scenes. It's way easier than trying to answer all of these emails, comments, instant messages. I'd be all day just doing that some days. There'll be long sections where nobody will try to correspond, and then all of a sudden, we just had the Liverpool Monarch Cup. Everybody's all over me to do another interview with Jake Stein, which I am doing. Don't worry. We got to wait for him to get home, get settled, and we'll talk to the young man. But things like that. And if I just had to sit there answering all the emails and the occasional phone call, and I'd be at it all day. I can't do that. This is a much easier way to get all the information out to our group. In our group of people who shoot silhouette, it's not a giant sport. We have 3,000 people from various parts of the world on the Facebook group. Now, as sports go, that's not a lot of people. It's not a huge market. So this is, I like to call what I do micro broadcasting. We're very specific. We're very focused in what I do and what we do. And that's all we do. And we're not out to get out to a giant market. If we bring in a few new people, that's great. That is what we want to do. We want to build the sport. Right now, the state of the sport, it's better than it was. There's new people coming in. There's new people coming up through the ranks. There's more people showing up to matches in general. Now that fluctuates year by year, month by month, but in general, it's way better than it was. And we'll probably get into that a little bit later. But any other content that people ask me for, I know people always ask me for rocketry content. They want me to do rocketry videos again. Maybe someday. It won't be on this channel. It won't be on anything called Metallic Silhouette. Anything like that will go to the Garage of Doom channel, which I've sort of resurrected from the old Basement of Doom channel from long gone. All that's gone. That's when I stopped doing that. It all got erased, and it's on a computer. I don't even know where it is anymore. So if I feel the need to restart that, I'll do that all over there. So our primary focus is silhouette. Promoting the sport of silhouette. That's that building the sport part. That's my personal focus, building the sport. Not so much promoting any one person, promoting any group of people, but I'll support the whole sport. I'll promote a large group of people, no problem. And support of any business that tries to help us out. Obviously, with such a small group, we're not going to, nobody's going to make a living off a silhouette. And if you think you are, you're wrong. There's not enough people. But there are plenty of companies out there who support our sport because we do buy things, and we buy a lot of things, and we're willing to invest lots of money in things. So any of those companies that want to help out the sport, man, I'm right there to help you out 100%. To that end, what we've built. We'll go into a little bit of the numbers on the Facebook group. Facebook group, 3,046 members today. I actually checked it. I think it's a little bit higher than that today. And that's good for such a small group of people. Most of our group, our group is worldwide. Most of the members are from Canada, the United States, and Mexico. That's just the way it is. That's the kind of the way the sport works anyway. But that's our core constituents, North America. Plenty of members from other places, and that's great. You can all post your stuff there. I'm not going to stop you. And we hope to build Silhouette in your country too. Most days, we have 3,000 members. We have a high membership activity rate, and I think that's probably really important. Most days we're above 1,000 active members. Over the course of a month, we're in the 2,700 active members. So almost the entire membership is checking in. And that's really good for one of those Facebook groups. To have over 50% participation rate, it's pretty good. And we're way over that. On big weekends like we just had with the conclusion of the 3-country Monarch Cup, the numbers were crazy. The numbers were crazy this weekend because everybody was waiting for information. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the numbers were 1,500 per day. People checking in. And, that's terrific. That's a lot of people who are interested in Silhouette, specifically tuning in to that Facebook group just for information. Now, again, we want to get even further into the inner workings of the Facebook group. I am happy to share that information with anybody who wants to see the numbers. My thoughts on all of that are not to keep anything secret. It's not that interesting to most people. Some people, who, like nerds like me, who like to study the demographics and try to determine where the sport is and where the sport's going, it's actually a wealth of information. And we're going to get into that in another podcast another time, as far as where the sport's been, what happened, where I think we're going, based on the numbers that I've gathered over the last 10 years. This has been a mission, man. No joke. And that's the only reason I really started that Facebook group in the first place, was to get data on how many participants the sport really had. And it's actually more than I thought. I thought maybe we really had maybe 1,000 participants, maybe 1,500. I think it's actually a little more. Regular people who are showing up to matches every month. That's what I would call a participant. You go to one match a month, you're a participant. Yeah, that means that you're buying ammo, practicing, putting gas in your car, getting to that match, paying the entry fees. You really are a competitor. All right. Reviewing my notes. So engagement statistics, we're looking at about 1,000 a day on regular days. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little more. The history of what I've done, I started to just touch on. 8.5 years ago, we started the Facebook group. All of this started, whether it be the Facebook group, the YouTube page, various other things I've tried and scrapped, like a forum server. Tried that, scrapped it because forums are just, they've aged out. People don't use forums anymore. The old school forums, that was very 2000. And the average age of the people on forums is just, it's not demographically, it's not where you want to go to build a sport. It would be just as crazy as maybe trying to start up a old school listserv. We're not running on DARPA net anymore. This is 2023. So I've tried things that have not worked like that. The things I still have running are the things that work, the things that people tune into, the things that people are interested in. And there are things I want to expand on. That's going to be a different podcast. I don't want to spill the beans. Putting together the podcast was the latest thing. All of this started out in, according to my notes, from what I guess, from what I can remember, around 2013, just conversations at a match about where things were headed, why people weren't showing up, why we had no youth, the usual thing. And back at that time, if you'll remember, if you've been around for a while, even not that long, the constant mantra of the people I call the nattering nabombs of negativity were always, silhouette is a dying sport. Silhouette is a dying sport. And yeah, it is if you let it. You don't hear that much anymore because we've proved that wrong. And I say we, I mean the silhouette shooters as a whole, whether it be shooters, match promoters, match directors. We have this whole thing called the Monarch Cup now, which a lot of people are paying attention to. People are paying attention to it who are not in the shooting sports world. Sports marketing people. Let me make things perfectly clear. You have gotten some people's attention, and that's a good thing. So I put myself on a mission to use media in sports promotion the way that I know how to do it, with spending as little money as I can. I put a lot of time into it, and a little money. But things get slowed down at time. Life, kids, homeschool, farm. Yeah, let's look at my farm. That was just a little scan shot around the pasture here. Kids, grandkids. This all takes time and effort. Started the YouTube channel about 10 years ago. Everything's grown at a steady pace. In the last few years, some things have slowed down. I will get into that into a second, of a little bit about how things developed, didn't develop. But, that's how life goes. Life is always, like that. The sport of silhouette has grown. We have gotten the word out there. Whether I have had anything to do with it or not doesn't really matter. But I'm going to continue to do anything I can to raise the interest level. Get the word out there. Make sure people know what's going on. Know that silhouette exists. Know that it's out here. Know that they can show up to a monthly match and participate. So, in our deep dive, the most common email, text message, instant message I've gotten in the last couple of months. Quick coffee sip. The most common communication I've gotten in the last couple of months is, what the hell happened? Over the last few years, everything you've done has kind of slowed down. Well, it hasn't slowed down. I've actually been doing more. You may not have seen me, but I have been doing more. So here's basically what happened, okay? I was doing my thing. Some of you are very familiar with what I was doing. I started to put a group of people together to try to do something, to try to get similar minds working together as far as promoting Silhouette. Okay, now at that time, someone came in and said they were basically doing the same thing. So, I have other things to do. So it was fine with me if somebody else said that they were going to do it. They had the same ideas. Basically, it was almost a carbon copy of what I was already doing. Whether or not that was a synchronous decision that both happened at the same time, just based on logic, I don't know. Just thinking of that just now in my head, not positive. So my idea was, let them go for it. Go for it, do your thing. That was a while ago. I have it written down here as 2 years. I think it was actually more. I always figure there's no reason for two people or two groups of people to be doing the same thing at the same time. It's like reinventing the wheel. Why do it? That's just a waste of energy. About a year after that, I was contacted by the same group to collaborate with them, if you want to call it that. And even at that time, my concern was what progress had been made in the previous year. But I'm always looking for partnerships. I'm always looking for someone to work with. I'm always looking for someone who can carry some of this load. And the big thing would be to offer resources and to help. When it's just me doing what I do, it takes time, it takes a tiny bit of money. If somebody else can spread that load out and they can do some of that and I don't have to, that's great. It's been my plan all along. Nobody wants to go about this all on their own. That's crazy. So, Facebook group was renamed. YouTube channel was renamed. Yet all these other things I always wanted to do, I wanted to get things done. I wanted things to move along. Okay? So then now another year passes. And literally, so I've got 2 years basically on hold. Year one, because I don't want to sort of roll over what somebody else has planned, what somebody else has going on when they've said that they're going to do it. Another year involved, somewhat, and still nothing happens. So, in my mind, and I also was very vocal about it, I'm not a shy person. I said that there were basic objectives that needed to be met. And those basic objectives, in my mind, determined whether or not I pulled the plug on working with these people. Not only were the basic objectives were met, nothing seemed to be being accomplished in the stream that I had always said needed to be accomplished. So it wasn't even close, and it wasn't even worth continuing. I could keep doing things basically I was still doing everything myself. So, why continue? Now, not only that, by doing things myself, I'm able to do things like start up a podcast. I'm able to, do the things that need to be done, and I don't have to wait for anybody to not accomplish things, basically. So that's where we are now. That's the end of the story. I wish those folks luck in the future. I hope they can get their things together and have some form of success. We'll see. Time will tell. If they succeed, it helps everyone. If they don't succeed, it's not really. It's just one more thing. One more thing that was tried and just didn't work. But we'll see. Hopefully they get their stuff together. So then we'll call it a month ago. It was way more than a month ago. It was like 2 months ago. I ceased with that group. And here's the other one. Man, I've gotten so many. This shows that silhouette shooters have excellent attention to detail. I think we're all a little bit obsessive compulsive. Maybe if not all of us. I think there has to be a little element of that in this sport to be successful, because it's precise, because you have to repeat that same precise shot over and over. You have to be a little OCD. Everyone seemed to notice the fact that I took a word out of the name when I reverted back to Metallic Silhouette Society. I took one word out. And everybody, you took out the word shooter. Well, now see, here's the thing, okay? And this goes into some of the research I've been doing forever, and just some of the things I know, and I remember how things get set up and how things work in the modern social media world. We are all slaves to the algorithms set up by the social media companies. My taking out of that one word means that I suddenly show up in people's feeds. The Facebook group may show up in more things. The YouTube channel may show up, is definitely showing up in people's suggestions. So by taking that one word out, we're able to be found by a lot more people. People who may not have normally found us. Because before, the way algorithms work, we would not be pushed towards any of these other people. You wouldn't see it in a feed. You wouldn't see it in a YouTube suggested videos. Now we do. We're starting to show up. And it's starting to show in all the data. Suddenly, the last couple of months, really the last month, it took about a month for things to start to kick off. Now, I mean, you'll see it if you're a member of the Facebook group. You'll see it just in the amount of new members. So many new members. 150 a month, which I know that doesn't sound much. If you're in the real YouTube influencer, social media world, the real Facebook world, group world, that's nothing. But the thing is, you got to realize that we're in a microcosm. We are Silhouette. There's not that many people that even know what we are. There aren't that many people that participate. So if you can get 150 of those people in a month, that's a huge chunk of the possible potential audience. And I've noticed by some of what comes up on the Facebook group that a lot of those people are not yet silhouette shooters. They're getting there. They're putting their gear together. And we need to make sure that we help those people out. That's an aside. So if I use words like shooter, rifle, shooting, and I put any of those words into a title, you automatically get dumped on search engines. The algorithm picks those out and puts them away. No one will see you. It's just that simple. It's the way it is. It's the way we have to deal with life right now in 2023. Does it suck? Yes. But if I just call it Metallic Silhouette Society, you get recognized. If you put that word shooters in there, you put in rifle, you put in shooting, you put any of that stuff in there, you will get whacked by Google search, YouTube search, which is the second largest search engine in the world. All these things they just 86 and dump you. It's just the way it is. All right, so we're going to move on to the next section, which is going to be frequently asked questions. People are asking all the time about the Facebook group. How do I get my match posted on the Facebook group? Well, the easiest way is to just post it. Every single member can post. Every single member can put up a video. Every single member can put their match results in there, photos from their match. They could do interviews, they could do videos. You can post it all up there. Everything on that platform, on the Facebook group, is open to all the members. It's not just me. I don't have the thing set so only moderators can do certain posts. If you look in there, unlike other Facebook groups, I'll let you post. Just put it up there. It's called a society for a reason. The society should be able to do everything. Democratize, keep things open source, let everybody participate. So post your announcements in the group. If you've got a match coming up, post that announcement. Make sure people are able to add it to their calendars. And if you have an event, my other suggestion, always, an event that comes up, make sure that you have it planned out and able to announce way in advance. 6 months is too short. 8 months is better. A year is best. Because people have to travel. People have to determine if they're going to go to their local match or if they're going to go to your regional match. People have to determine how close is it to a national championship event. We don't always know the dates on those. We've got some of the dates, at least in the United States, set, which is nice. These are all things that you have to plan around. You have to, if you work for somebody, unlike me, who I work for myself, if you have a regular job, you have to request vacation time. So set up your event way ahead of time. Get the match out there. Post videos and photos of the event that you do have. And that way, people see it, they notice it for next year. Now, the other thing is, if you look at on the Facebook group, if you're not a member, become a member. You look on the Facebook group, look at some of the promotional videos that the Mexican matches make. They're beautiful. They're the way we all should be promoting our events. Just like that. They're well produced. They're well filmed. They're short. They're 15 seconds long. They make you want to go to Mexico and participate in their match. They're great. Copy that format. Okay, another question. How do I get you to cover my match? I don't travel that much because I have a farm, because I homeschool, because I have to do what I have to do. I don't travel. I personally don't travel that much. I might go to 2 matches a year that I have to travel to. But I have a system for that. I have a solution. Get in touch with me. Get in touch with me by email. Get in touch with me on instant message. Talk to me on Facebook. If you have to put a comment on a YouTube video, I'll probably see that at some point. I have a system, and we tested the system a couple of times this year. One of those times was at the U.S. Small Bore Nationals for the awards ceremony. And the system is whether or not someone can live stream from an event. They send it to me here in Tennessee, and I can live stream it out there to the general public. The system works. The technology has finally caught up to where I wanted it to be 10 years ago. Now I can actually do it. Live stream quality is always not what I want it to be personally. I really like to film things beautifully as best I can with minimal equipment. Get the video home, process it and upload it and make it look good. But people do like live streams, especially things like award ceremonies. So they see right away who won, what they won, what their class awards. You know, it's great for people who are watching from home. They can see their family members. So, you know, live streams definitely have their place. It's something I'd like to do more of, but you can help me with that. Find someone in your club who maybe knows someone who's a college student, who's into audio video production, who can probably set this stuff up really easily. It's difficult for someone who is trying to shoot the match and get video. You know, I can attest to that more than anyone else. It's very difficult to try to do both things. You can do it. The quality of both your match and the video will suffer. If you've seen any of my live videos, case in point. But we can do this. Talk to me. It's not that hard to set up. You know, anything I do to help you is free. You know, how can you go wrong with free, right? And we can get your match with visibility out to the general public. I can host live streams. I can host interviews. I can host anything on the YouTube channel, anything on the Facebook group, which also includes video and also includes live streams. You know, it doesn't have to, I'd prefer it wasn't me in front of the camera, to be absolutely 100% honest with you. I'd rather not do any of this. If I can find somebody to replace me, I will be the happiest dude on earth. Because I don't want to be here talking to you. It's just, it is what it is. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I do it because I need to do it for Silhouette. But I can host your video. You do a video at your range. I'll put it on my YouTube channel. I'll put it on Facebook. You want to have your video on your channel and my channel? I don't care. It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. To you, maybe you're trying to get clicks and likes and views. I'm not. Because I know that that system would never work as far as Silhouette video goes. There isn't enough potential people out there who would be interested in the general population to make it worth trying to be monetized on YouTube or anything like that. That's silly. Would never work. YouTube is saturated with junk firearms content. They don't have the knowledgeable audience in general who would want to look at Silhouette in any kind of an objective way to make it worthwhile to try to monetize that. It just wouldn't happen. So I don't try. And to that end, if you were relying on something like that, like a YouTube monetization, because of the content and what we do, the subject matter, they can shut you off anytime. So why would I even try that? Plus, nobody likes commercials. So, the technology has caught up. If you want to post, I should say I would post it. I would host it on the YouTube channel, on the Facebook group. Anything that you've got to do that has to do with silhouette, whether it be a training, a practice session, a how-to, a 4-H youth shoot, basically anything. Just contact me, we'll get to it. All right, the other new thing, it's kind of an old thing, but now I have relaunched it. It literally took 3 years of a break. And that is, you're going to find on the video's Patreon link. And I thank the people that have signed up in the last couple of days. It's really nice to see that, people went on there and actually found it. And started supporting the Silhouette Society, the podcast, the Facebook group, the YouTube page. If you have any positive thoughts about what we do here, what I'm trying to do as far as promoting Silhouette, help out on the Patreon for as little as $1. Everything helps. Like I said, like I was just saying, I don't do monetization because I know that could get shut off at any time, even if I had enough of a viewership stream to try monetization. It would never work. People are always asking, how can I help? What can I do to help? Well, that's one thing. Help out on Patreon, a couple of bucks. A lot of this stuff doesn't take a ton of money, but it does take time. There's time involved. Let's see. I'm just going through my notes. Some of this I already covered without even looking at the notes. Sometimes people ask, can they just make general donations? Probably the easiest way to do it is just do it through Patreon. People do ask about, I'm in Tennessee. I have a lot to do with Tennessee Sports Foundation in Jackson. We have a pretty healthy silhouette program there. I've done some infrastructure as far as building up the small bore silhouette range. Going to start hopefully working on the high power end. We'll see what happens. That's not a promise. We're looking at it. After a brief break of not being president of Tennessee Sports Foundation, which was, the break was nice. I was reelected for some reason. I try to keep Tennessee Sports Foundation things separate from Metallic Silhouette Society because they are in the same realm at some points. If you want to donate to Tennessee Sports Foundation Silhouette Program, directly donate to them. 2 separate deals. Both help the sport of silhouette. One helps on a more local level. And I sincerely thank everyone who donates to Tennessee Sports Foundation because it's 100% volunteer, nonprofit, and we always need the help. Let's see. Now, the big thing is I thank you all for your support. I thank you for sitting through our deep dive into Silhouette Society. I hope to have a lot more content coming up shortly. There'll be another deep dive on a different subject probably next week. Silhouette as a whole, the sport is growing. We're gonna look into that and look into some of the numbers in our next deep dive as easily and succinctly as I can put them, and that's going to be my trick that I have to try to communicate that in the next podcast. So until next time, aim straight, don't miss. We want to hear the steel fall. We'll talk to you at the next Silhouette Society podcast with our next cup of coffee in a field. Hopefully next week. Thank you very much and have a good day. Sheep. There's a sheep walking by. Hello, sheep.